We're Danny and Kate, and 4 years ago we bought an abandoned finca in the countryside in Spain. In 2023 we finally made the big move from the city to the country, and we've been slowly regenerating the land, planting new trees and growing our own food, all while renovating a 120-year-old house so that we can call it home. After a huge leap forward in our house renovation last week, the kitchen feels totally transformed. The white lime plaster has added such a brilliant finish to these walls, and if it wasn't for all of the photos and videos, we could hardly remember what it looked like before. It has really given a glimpse of what this finished room is going to look like, and in this week's video we're continuing with more progress in the kitchen. But first, with the first glimpses of spring on its way, we're adding another new tree to our orchard. It's another new variety that we don't have yet.
So as you've probably seen, we had Harriet and Mauro here from Little Spanish Farmstead, and we came up to the land, did a bit of planting and a bit of work. But we've had a few issues with our citrus trees, and they've got citrus, and they gave us a good piece of advice. So I'm going to show you that now. Well, actually first I'm going to show you the latest citrus thing we planted, and it was another lemon tree, because the other lemon tree planted 2-3 years ago has not done very well. But I'll show you this lemon, and then you can see the state of it. So it's not terrible, but it is losing a lot of leaves, but it is looking better than the previous one. I don't think it got quite as battered by the wind around this corner, and we got a better hole prepped for this one. So this is a lemon tree, but again, I'd say it's lost about 50% of its foliage here, so not looking the healthiest. So we've picked ourselves up a mandarin, and what Harriet was recommending is that we plant it up in a bigger pot next to the house where it's more sheltered, and get it used to being up here for a year before we then stick it out into the ground. So what I've done is I've filled the bottom of here with some expanded clay balls. It will provide a bit of drainage, but also a bit of water retention as the clay balls absorb water. I've also put holes in the bottom of the trug, so if there is a lot of water it can drain away. And then as you can see, this is a little bit lower than the rim, so I'll put a layer of compost underneath the root ball, and then I'll put that in with some rooting hormone that we've shown you before, and then I'll fill the rest up with some compost and give it a good water. And hopefully this one prefers being around the corner. For those that ask, this is the rooting hormone we got. It's organic and it's just from Amazon. I think we got 2 bags for the amount of trees we want to do, and we just put a scoop or 2 on the root ball, and you know, I'd rather put some on than not. So I just gave the clay balls a bit of a water first, just so they can absorb water, and also give the duster rinse. Holes are working, so let's fill it with some compost. That's it, yeah. La, 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 la. That's it, put it in. Oops.
There's as much in the pot as there is on you.
So there we have the mandarin tree. We've put it in some compost with some rooting hormone, and then we've got the wood chips on top just to shield it from the sun a little bit, hopefully keep the water in a bit longer. And yeah, let's see how we do through the summer.
It's a bit of a cold, misty one this morning, but very soon these morning walks are going to make a big turn for the spring. And that's because all of the beautiful orange trees that we walk past along this path are just starting to come into flower. So there are 1 or 2 that are almost ready to open, probably in the next day or 2. And as soon as they do, we have about 3 or 4 weeks of the most beautiful smell of the orange blossom as we're walking along the riverside. And we can't wait for that, because it is a really, really big signal that the weather is changing, that we're starting to get into warmer days, and you just start to see everything flourish. It really is amazing how everything can just feel like it changes from one day to the next. We're really starting to see that change of season, and honestly, I can't wait. It feels like this winter has been a long one and a cold one this year. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that change in the air. This week I'm starting work on our future pantry. We have the perfect little space underneath the stairs that we'll kit out with lots of shelves and storage. I'd love to start making our own preserves and pickles and things like that too, so a cool dark space under here is going to be ideal. It doesn't need too much work, but it just needs a little bit of preparation. I've been trying to get these tiny little bits of trim off this wall for, I don't know, nearly half an hour now, and I just can't get some of the screws out. They're flathead screws, which are annoying because I hate getting those out anyway because they always slip, but they're old and they're so stuck into the wall that they've kind of rusted in, maybe from the humidity of cooking in the room or something, I don't know. I've tried the electrical screwdriver, that just doesn't touch it. I've been trying to loosen them with pliers and then unscrew them, which has worked for a few, but there are some that are just so stuck in the wall and I just can't undo them. So I might just angle grind them off. We're going to put some plaster over this section and down this wall anyway. I'm not going to be plastering inside the whole of here because some of it is fine, it's not been touched, it's not damaged or anything. And we're actually going to be building a whole load of shelving on this side here anyway, so we don't need to do all of that. But this is the side that you will see, because as you come in to come and get the things from the store cupboard, this will be the wall that you can actually see as you go in or when you're cooking and you can see into it. So we want this side to at least look nice. So yeah, maybe angle grinder it is. Yesterday I started to get this cleared up, and I've also started to prepare these surfaces to be plastered. So because this already has a layer of delicious lime green paint on the inside, what I needed to do was make sure that I could actually stick the plaster to this without chipping it back to the wall. This actually supports part of the stairway that goes to upstairs, so we don't want to be working too hard on this surface here, and I just wanted to make sure that we can cover it and then paint it. So what I've done to prepare the surface is score it all down. I just used a bradawl so that I had something that was sharp and would cut into the layers of paint. A little bit like when you plaster and you create those lines ready for the next layer of plaster to go on. But then on top of this, I'm going to be using an adhesive primer, and that's something that you just paint on. It creates a very sticky layer, and then you can put the plaster on top of that and it all adheres properly. So I'm going to be doing this wall here, which is the one that you will see all the time really as you come in and out of this space. And then I'm also going to be doing the wall here, but just partly into this section. And then this is all going to be covered in cupboards and everything anyway. So we'll just be painting this. But I want to make sure that all this conduit and everything is covered over. So I'll be continuing the lime plaster from where we've done above the cupboards down into this space. So I've just done the same thing here. So I'll put on that adhesive. I have to leave it, I think, between 30 minutes and 4 hours, and that's the sweet spot for being able to put the lime plaster on top. So this has been drying for about an hour now since I painted it. I rechecked the bottle and it actually said between 30 minutes and 48 hours. So not 4, it's actually got 2 days, which I guess gives you a little bit of leeway in case you, I don't know, paint a whole room with it and then need to get round with the plaster or something. So we're all good. We've got loads of time to get on with this, but I do want to get this bit done today if I can. So I'm going to get a mix made up and get on with lime plastering this section here. But basically it's just left a little kind of stickiness to the wall. It's like tacky to the touch. When I put this on, I tried to make sure that it went into all of the little score areas so that it was in all those lumps and bumps. And hopefully it's going to do the job, because I think notoriously trying to put plaster right on top of a painted wall is not such a great idea. So hopefully this is going to work.
So we've basically put all the top coat on this wall now. There's just a few patches we're not quite happy with, so we've got to do more plastering around the room. So the first job I'm going to do is just do like a really thin skim coat over places on here that are not quite how we want it. We've done that before upstairs and it blends in fairly well, so I'm not too worried about that. And then once that's done, we're going to do above where the kitchen bit is on the other side, because there's the same issue. It's the first wall we did, it's not quite how we want it, so another quick skim, and then we're going to get covering the worktops.
was better then going towards the dry rather than to, yeah. It like blended it out. Yeah. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it for this one. If you've made it all the way to the end and you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a big thumbs up, maybe share it with somebody that you think might also like it, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider doing so. We wanted to give a really big thank you to all of our patrons, everyone who watches, likes, leaves us a comment, and we hope that you have a really great week ahead, and we'll see you on the next one.